Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea, and today we are making some Dollar Tree Valentine's DIYs. So let's get started. This DIY is a circle love sign. I'm using this locally grown calendar from Dollar Tree, and I'm flipping to the February page, which has the word love in the middle of this pretty wreath. I'm cutting out the design by cutting all around the edges of the wreath. I'm using these three paint colors. I have Cinnamon Drop by Deco Art, this Cotton Candy Pink from Dollar Tree, and a white paint also from Deco Art. And I mixed all three together to get this beautiful pink color. I'm painting this circle sign from Dollar Tree. I had previously used it for something else, and I'm just painting over it. Now I'm adding dots of hot glue to the back of this calendar page. You could also use a glue stick or craft glue, but hot glue is what I had on hand, and I'm sticking it onto my sign. Once I stuck the design onto the sign, I'm going back and gluing down some of the edges that maybe I didn't get on the first time around. I'm taking this twine and I'm cutting 3 long strands. I roughly measured so the twine would go all around the edge of the sign. I tied all of the pieces of twine together and now I'm braiding them. To start with, I decided to glue my braided twine strand all around on the sign, around the edge of the calendar page. I'm gluing it down so it's not a perfect circle, but has a little bit of a scalloped edge effect. And I'm gluing down both ends of the braid underneath this little XOXO sign. I do end up changing this up a little bit in a minute, but first I'm taking these 3 felt hearts from Dollar Tree. I have a larger pink one, then a medium size white one, and a little pink one. And I'm arranging these onto the calendar page, then hot gluing them down so all of them are slightly overlapping. I decided I didn't really like the look of the braided twine on its own, so I ripped that off and accidentally took some of the calendar page along with it, but we'll fix it later. I have this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree that has this really pretty lace detailing on it, and I'm ripping off a piece of that lace, just enough so it can go all the way around the sign. Now I'm hot gluing the lace all around onto the sign. It doesn't lay perfectly flat, but I started by gluing the center down in various places around the circle, and then I went back and glued some of the edges down that were sticking up a little bit more. Now I'm adding this little piece of the ripped calendar page back in, lining it up perfectly so I can glue it back in place. And before I glue that piece down, I glued the twine braid back underneath. This time putting it on top of the lace ribbon, and I'm hot gluing this twine braid back all around the sign in the center of the lace. Again, I'm finishing it off by hot gluing it back underneath that little XOXO part that sticks out of it. And this is the completed love sign. I absolutely love the pink and white theme with a little touch of greenery. This DIY is a rectangular love sign with a Valentine's themed truck. For this DIY, I'm using a sign from Dollar Tree along with this Farm Life calendar. And I'm turning to the February page that says Be Mine Valentine and has a red truck in the middle with lots of pink and red hearts. For this DIY, I'm just using the truck part of the page, so I'm starting by cutting that out. Next, I'm taking this pretty bubblegum pink tissue paper and I'm folding it around my Dollar Tree sign. Then I'm turning over the sign and hot gluing the tissue paper to the back. I decided to do it this way instead of cutting the tissue paper to fit exactly, because then I can fold it over the sign and get a really nice edge. Next, I'm taking this white tissue paper that is covered with pink and red hearts. I'm cutting out a rectangle from this tissue paper that is a little bit smaller than the sign. This is going to be going on top of the pink tissue paper, so I'm going to have a pink border and then the hearts in the center. Now I'm placing my red truck onto another piece of pink tissue paper and I'm gluing it on. Then I'm cutting it out, leaving a little border around the edge of the truck where the pink tissue paper is showing. Now I'm gluing the heart tissue paper down onto the first layer of the pink tissue paper. Then I'm hot gluing the truck on top. To decorate the sign, I'm using this red ribbon from Dollar Tree, which has lots of tiny little white hearts on it. And I'm also using this metal love sign. I decided to turn the ribbon over because I liked the look of the back of the ribbon better for this project. And I'm lining up where I want the metal sign to go. Now I'm cutting the ribbon, which I have going diagonally across the top of the sign, and I'm folding it over the edges, then hot gluing it in place on the front and the back of the sign. Now I'm hot gluing my galvanized metal love sign onto the ribbon. Now I'm folding the ribbon over to the back of the sign and hot gluing it down. Now my Valentine's Love Truck sign is complete. This was so much fun to make because it has so many different types of materials and I just love how it all came together. This DIY is a Love is Patient and Kind sign. I'm using this sign from Dollar Tree, which as you can see I've used several times before. And I'm also using this Faith Can Move Mountains calendar from Dollar Tree. And I'm turning to the February page, which says Love is Patient and Kind. To start with, I'm cutting out this calendar page. Then I'm lining it up onto my sign, seeing where I need to cut it off and making sure I don't lose any of the words. I folded over the sign on the top and the bottom, and now I'm just cutting off those edges with my scissors. Now I'm hot gluing the page to my sign. I have these cute little gift bags from Dollar Tree that are red with all kinds of little hearts all over them. And I want to use these for the edges of the sign. They're not quite long enough. I'm opening up the bag, then cutting off a strip. Now I'm lining it up on the edge of the sign. Then I'm cutting out another strip of hearts and I'm lining it up with the first strip because I'm going to glue both of them down to make one long piece. When I'm gluing down these strips of gift bags, I'm also tucking them a little bit underneath the calendar page, then gluing them in place like that. I figured out where I wanted both of the strips to line up and then I'm trimming them and gluing them down. Now I'm repeating the exact same thing on the other side of the sign, starting with my first strip of the gift bag, figuring out which hearts I want to be featured and where I want it to be placed, then cutting out the second strip and lining it up. And this is my sign complete. I had purchased these gift bags not really knowing what I was going to do with them, and I thought this was such a fun idea and made this a little bit more Valentine's themed. This DIY is a heart-shaped You Are Loved sign. I'm starting with this heart-shaped sign from Dollar Tree that has this metal love sign across the front. And first I'm taking that off. Then I'm using this Enjoy the Little Things calendar from Dollar Tree. And I'll be using this page that says You Are Loved and is covered in lots of pretty watercolor flowers in the background. To start with, I'm cutting out the page. Then I'm placing my heart-shaped sign on top of the calendar. And as you can see, the heart is a little bit bigger than the calendar page. Once I have it lined up where I want it, I'm tracing these edges of the heart along the sides and the top. Now I'm cutting the calendar where I had these pen marks for the outline of the sign. Once the page is all cut out, I'm placing it onto the sign. And as you can see, we have these 3 areas that are not covered by the calendar. So what I'm going to do is take some florals from another calendar page and line them up on the bottom and the 2 sides. They won't match up exactly, but they have definitely the same vibes. So what I'm doing is placing this calendar page onto the edge of the heart there, tucking it underneath the main calendar page, and then kind of folding it over the edge of the sign. Then I'm using a pen to trace around the edge of the sign, and that will be my guide to cut it out. Once I have the piece cut out, I'm tucking it in and then carrying on and doing the same thing with the other edges, with the other sections. You can see here again, I cut out a small piece from a calendar page that has this pretty watercolor flower on it. Then I'm tucking it under the first calendar page onto the side there and folding it over the edge of the sign, then using a pen to mark the outline, then cutting it out and tucking it underneath. Now it's time to glue everything down. I'm starting with the main calendar page, just adding glue to the center for now, then sticking it onto the sign. Now I'm taking my 3 smaller pieces, tucking them in place, then lifting them up a bit and adding hot glue onto the sign and pressing them down in place. Once the smaller pieces are glued down, I'm also lifting up the sides of the main calendar page and adding hot glue under there, then pressing it down. Lastly, I'm trimming off any edges that are hanging over the sign a little bit. And this is my completed heart sign. Super easy and simple, but is just so pretty. This DIY is a vertical scrapbook style Valentine's sign. To start with, I'm using this wood sign from Dollar Tree that is actually from the fall time. As you can see, it has a pumpkin cutout at the top, but we're going to transform it, starting by using this beautiful life calendar from Dollar Tree. And I'm using this Do Small Things with Great Love page. I'm going to be cutting out pieces of the sign, not using the whole thing together at once. So to start with, I'm cutting out this bottom flower. Now I'm cutting out the words, cutting all around, being sure not to get any of the flowers with it. I'm now cutting out the other flowers on the calendar page. Once everything is cut out, I'm going to start arranging them on the vertical sign. And I'm going back to some of the designs and cutting a little bit more closely around the edges. And for this Do Small Things with Great Love piece, I'm cutting it so it follows the flow of the letters a bit more. So it has a little bit of the scalloped edge look. Before I glue anything down, I'm using these 2 wood hearts from Dollar Tree. And I'm using this white paint and pink paint and mixing those 2 together because I wanted an even lighter pink color. For the other heart, I'm using this Santa red color from Deco Art, and I'm mixing it in with the pink paint from Dollar Tree, so I get a little bit of a deeper pink color. Now I'm hot gluing this heart onto the sign, covering up the pumpkin cutout. Now I'm starting to glue down some of the designs onto the sign, like these flowers. Then I'm taking the other wooden heart with the cutouts and gluing it on top of the solid heart. Now I'm working my way down the sign, hot gluing the text down next. I had this heart cutout from another Dollar Tree calendar from a previous project, and I thought it was so pretty, kind of vintage, fitting with the scrapbook theme that we're going for here. So I'm gluing that down also onto my sign here, along with some of the other flowers that I had cut out. I wanted a different flower for the bottom of the sign there than what was on my main calendar page that I'm using. So I flipped to the April page of the same calendar, and I'm cutting out this rose. I'm arranging it on the sign, then cutting off a bit of the leaf there so it goes to the edge of the sign. And I'm doing the same with the other flowers, cutting it off so it is not hanging over the edge. And this is my finished sign. There's a lot of different things going on here, which I think is so fun, seeing everything come together. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss more DIY videos coming soon. And let me know in the comments which of these Dollar Tree Valentine's DIYs was your favorite. See you next time.